Forecasts, goals, commitments. Team, we hear these words being thrown around all the time, but what is the real difference between the three? Well, this week's supplemental training is really honing in on the commitments we make to help finish this fiscal year strong. What's going on, team? Hey, listen, we've officially started Q4. We are down to the final 90 days for this fiscal year. And the question I have for you is, what is your commitment for these next 90 days? Now, before we answer, let's take a moment to reflect on that statement, right? Because we talk about commitments, we talk about our monthly goals, our forecasts. But let's first look at the three. Right? At the lowest end is we have our forecast. If you were to define that's a prediction of the future, typically based off of some historical events or facts. So when we forecast our weekly numbers and our sales, a lot of times that's based off of who we have coming in, right? What our conversion rate looks like, how many appointments we have set up, so we can forecast what that future looks like. Hey, just like a weatherman, sometimes those forecasts hit, sometimes they don't. But it's just a prediction. Now, when we look at our goals, right? Goals are something that we want to do, something we aspire to achieve. But sometimes those goals don't always pan out. We want to be smart about those. Make them specific, measurable, attainable, relatable, and time-based. But these next 90 days, I want to focus on our commitments, right? A commitment isn't something you want to do. It's something you have to do. You have an internal drive, a desire to achieve, right? Not taking no for an answer, right? Our commitment, we need to get this done. So I'm going to ask you again, and I'd love to hear a response. This is a call to action, not just a reflection. But what is your commitment for these next 90 days? What are you committing to do? What's that sales number look like for these next 90 days? How many sales are you going to commit to do that you have to get done? In addition, another question I'd love to hear a response in is, how are you committed to doing that? Right? What's that support you need to do? How are you going to get there? And then lastly, question number 3. How would you feel if you do not achieve that goal? Right? So for example, I myself, I'm committed to supporting you with real world relevant content and really just being a support structure from here till the end of the year. Right? How I'm going to do that is by continuing to offer you guys some weekly encouragement, some supplementals training, some one-on-one, and really diving deep, talking about prospects and QMIs. Now, how am I going to feel if I do not achieve that? Personally, I'm going to feel terrible. It's happened before. When I feel like I'm not providing you guys with my commitments, delivering real-world relevant content, I have that internal drive. I start to feel as if I didn't perform, and it's not a good day. So I'm not looking for your goals this month or this quarter, but really, what are those commitments? What do you have to get done by the end of the year? So again, I'll state those commitments, those questions again in the recap on the email. But remember, that commitment is something you have to do. How are you going to get there? And quite frankly, how are you going to feel if you do not achieve it? And if the answer to that is, hey, I'll feel okay, I know I got close, well, I'm going to push you a little bit saying that's not the strongest commitment. Right? What's that internal drive that's going to drive you there? So again, any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know, and have an impactful rest of your week.